How's it going, guys? I'm Connor from Running Warehouse.
And I'm Lucas with Running Warehouse.
And today we are going to be taking a first look at the new ASICS METAFUJI Trail. Now, ASICS has been coming in hot the last couple years with super shoes on the roadside like Metaspeed Sky, Metaspeed Edge, but now some of that super foam plate technology is trickling on over to the trail. And I think the real question is it going to work? Are we going to see the same benefits on uneven terrain?
Absolutely, that's always foremost on everyone's mind. How do we get all of those ingredients incorporated into a true super shoe for the trails? Is it going to be stable? We know it's going to be propulsive. This is a really exciting combination, and I can't wait to try this out.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot to talk about with this shoe, but of course, with the super shoes, we're gonna start off with the midsole, and we've got a similar setup to what we've seen in a couple other trail super shoes. We've got a two-layer system. Top layer is going to feature full-length Flight Foam Turbo. This is going to be a slightly trail-tuned version of the super foam we know. It's bouncy, it's responsive, it's ASICS' lightest compound. And below that, we've got a layer of Blast Plus foam. The Blast Plus is just going to be a little bit firmer, a little bit more stable, going to work really well together. And then, of course, embedded between those two foams, we've got the carbon fiber plate. It's strategically located in the middle of the shoe to really be more tuned for the trail. So all of it together is going to be a fantastic foam plate system.
Right. Yeah, you've got to have the full-length carbon fiber plate in there. I know ASICS has mentioned about, of course, the unique geometry with that plate. By themselves, FF Turbo, FF Blast, absolutely amazing. I'm really excited to see them in combination here, how that's going to feel underfoot. This is the formula that is looking like the recipe for trail super shoes. You've got to have some sort of a carrier stabilizer foam to kind of rein in that amazing, more responsive foam on top.
And from a stack height perspective, we're looking at about 44 millimeters, so a little bit higher than I was expecting. And when you compare it to some of the other trail super shoes, I feel like in some of the other shoes, you really sit within the shoe, and there's real high sidewalls. This shoe, you really seem to be sitting on top, which is a little bit interesting. We'll see how that works from a stability perspective. I will say just on initial try-on, a little squirrely. So I think maybe for more moderate trails, it'll be fast, but we'll be curious to see if it'll handle really well in the super technical terrain.
Yeah, you're spot on there. You read the first thought, on my mind there. That's what struck me first time seeing this shoe is that, yeah, you do appear to be, fully on top of that foam rather than seated down into it. Having said that, ASICS has always been a gold standard for their heel cup, and there's good structure here. And so with that secure fit, that structure in the heel cup gives me room for optimism there, and time will tell.
Yeah.
Looking forward to getting some trail miles in this.
Yeah, now moving on down to the outsole, this is another extremely important part of the shoe, and we've got a reformulated ASICS grip design. The lugs are fairly small, they're not super aggressive. The material is fairly sticky, and we have these cutouts seen throughout the shoe to help keep weight down. Overall, it seems like I would say this is probably going to be more of a moderate trail shoe. I think the real technical trails might not be the best, but I'd say probably a pretty versatile outsole.
I'd have to agree. First look, first impression, this is exactly what I would expect in this shoe. It was never going to be the most aggressive technical terrain shoe. That's not what it's supposed to be. This is meant to fly on that smooth, smoother fire trail situations. Not saying it's not going to be able to handle that technical terrain. I haven't had a chance to try it out there yet myself. I'm sure it can do very admirably there. But yeah, the wide space lugs, not super deep. It is a soft feeling compound. I'm not blown away just by the finger feel of the stickiness, but how well, finger feel stickiness is going to translate to trail stickiness, debatable, but it is a soft compound, which usually translates well for stickiness, and we will see.
Yeah. Now, finishing the shoe off, wrapping it all together, we've got the upper design, and you talked about that heel fit, but I really feel like the shoe as a whole, just on initial try-on, a nice secure lockdown, fairly thin upper, it's pretty lightweight, coming in at 9.1 ounces. This upper really helps keep weight down. And overall, I just feel like it's tuned for race day. Going to be a great option if you're looking to pick up the pace.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the pinnacle racing product, and so every aspect of the shoe is going to be with that in mind, to try to keep weight down, to try to get performance up to a maximum, responsiveness, lightweight, breathability. Things I'm looking for in a trail shoe, I'm always going to look at toe protection. I can't help stubbing my toe, kicking rocks. It's on the thinner and more flexible side. Again, it's what you would expect, but there is this generous wrap up of the outsole rubber, and I find that generally that's very protective, so I don't have huge concerns there. It's not a fully gusseted tongue. You know, it's maybe an inch wide attachment of a gusset there, of this thin tongue. And it is just this basically transparent, see-through, single layer upper material. So we'll have to see how well it does keeping out that really fine grit and debris. But again, please keep in mind that this is that pinnacle racing product. And so everything will have been done with that in mind. We do get this little feature here, a lace garage, if you want to call it, to tuck the laces into, and wraps it up nicely.
Yeah, I mean, I think you are spot on with the elite call out for this shoe. This isn't going to be a racing shoe for everyone, but if you're looking for peak performance, highly cushioned design, carbon plate, this is going to be for the efficient runner, but it's going to be fast, it's going to be protective. I think maybe for that 50-mile distance, maybe on a course that isn't super technical, maybe even going up to 100, like something like Western States, this could be a fantastic option.
Right, yeah, everything's always dependent on the individual runner, but there's obviously plenty of stack height here for most runners to cover almost any distance. Looking at that amount of protection underneath the entire foot, you've got the toe spring geometry here. This is just maximized for efficiency and responsiveness. And yeah, those smoother, more runnable trails, and just absolutely sending it.
So there you have it. That was our first look, first impressions on the new ASICS METAFUJI Trail. I know we're excited to get the miles in, test it out, but I think just from first looks, it looks to be a fantastic trail racing shoe for 2025. If you're looking to get the ASICS METAFUJI Trail on your own feet, you'll be able to find it here at Running Warehouse.